And just like that, 12th to 6th. We sure like to make things difficult, though, don't we? Man United beat Wolves 4-1 at the Molineux yesterday in a match, honestly, that could have easily gotten away from us had we not maybe come out second half swinging. We're going to talk about that. Obviously, we're here to talk about the performance, the numbers, what this means for Manchester United and a couple of the players and Ruben Amorim going forward, especially with AFCON coming up, especially with the FA Cup coming up. But that's what we're doing. We're doing a match reaction. I've got thoughts on the match, and I want your guys' thoughts as well. This is United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean. You guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Let's get stuck in. First and foremost, I got to see who is here in the chat. Lucky Singh in the house. Hope you're doing well, man. Lucky says Ugarte, he's letting him go to Italy. I don't think Ugarte's ever been in Italy before, man. But nice job, dude. Hope you're doing well. It has been snowing like crazy this morning. We probably got another couple inches this morning of snow. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but it is rough today. Just so everyone is aware, but hope you guys are still having a good day nonetheless. I'm gonna turn this light down a little bit. It's a little bright. Danny B's in the house. Big up, Danny. Yes, please do hit that like button and subscribe. Hope you guys are doing well. I do have a poll going for you guys in the chat as well. Let me know who you thought the man of the match was. Or if you don't think it's any of those four choices, let me know. Those four players had some good message. Obviously, they all had some sort of goal involvement. One having a couple more than others. Wink, wink. But let me know your thoughts. Big up, Danny. Danny says probably Mount's best performance. Yeah, second half was very, very good from him. I would say some of his Europa League matches last year were pretty good as well. Yeah, first half, he wasn't impressing me first half, but whatever happened halftime, he came out and just absolutely just destroyed. So, I mean, he was getting out-muscled in the first half, pushed and pulled off the ball. Most of the United players were. And fair play to Wolves. They were up for it. We knew that going into this. They were just going to be scrappy, and they did. They fought like a pack of wolves, quite frankly. Danny says, nah, shit, Dave blew out my back. Damn, dude, that back of yours. Maybe time to go hit up a chiropractor or something, my guy. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it does better. But yeah, man, take a load off, enjoy your day, and get involved in the chat, man. That's what we're here to do. So let's talk a little bit before we get into the match. We'll talk a little news to start. Not too much going on, but I've seen reports that Johnny Evans has apparently stepped down from his role at United. He was in charge of youth players like loans and pathways, I think it was called. This is coming from The Athletic. I think also from Training Ground Guru, which is a really good site if you guys ever want to go check out other stuff. Training Ground Guru was good. The coach's voice, very, 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 very good coach's voice. A lot of really good insight on tactics and whatnot in the coach's voice. But so apparently he's stepping down after about 6 months. Reports are that it's amicable, not like anybody had any sort of issues. Maybe Johnny's going another direction. Maybe our new academy director, Torpe, wants to maybe steer things in a different direction himself. Who knows? Maybe it just wasn't a good fit. Couldn't tell you. But we'll see if we appoint somebody new or if Torpe is just going to handle it from now on. We've got a ton of people at this club anymore. Box is in the house. Big up, Box. Hope you're doing well, man. We're just talking a little news first. Johnny Evans stepping down from his role. This chiropractor is sick of looking at me. Oh, I got suction. Jeez. Wow, man. Maybe try that acupuncture. Box says, job done and good win. Bournemouth, the real litmus test. Bournemouth, last year I would have said yes. They're struggling right now, though. And I remember what I said last year with Iriola. Last year, it looked like Iriola had it in him to be potentially the next big thing. You always got to give these managers a season or so. Remember last year, too, everybody was talking about Kieran McKenna. Let us give these young managers time. And that sometimes that does maybe apply for Amorim. I know we're a little biased because he's at our club and United's a big club and we demand the best. But young managers, just like young players, they are still learning in many, many ways and still developing. And so I think it's important. But Iriola definitely, they're struggling a bit. Again, like Wolves, like a lot of other clubs, like Brighton, even sometimes when you're selling your best players. He got his legs completely cut out from under him in the summer by selling their best defenders. Zabarnier, Hausen, gone, man. Kirke's left. Honestly, Kirke's would probably go back to Bournemouth right now. He is struggling at Liverpool, but then again, who isn't? So... Buck says the shame about Evans leaving. Yeah, I mean, it is a bummer. We obviously we don't know exactly what he was doing behind the scenes. We know what his role was, right? But according to the article in the Athletic, it was amicable. Nothing going on there. Nothing like a fallout or anything. I've seen some people online saying that claiming that they fell out over academy. It's nothing like that, at least according to reports. So Bach says we fumbled our lines at Old Trafford recently in games and we're expected to win. Yeah, this could have been a game that we could have easily seen heads drop again, but I think that we came out, and I was excited that we didn't just kind of rest on that 2-1 lead. It was 2-1. We still kept going forward. It was 3-1. We still kept going forward. We still kept pushing, trying to attack. That's what you need to do. We need to really set down a marker. We need to work to try to get people scoring goals, to get their heads in it, to get them into good form, get that confidence going. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. Rob Taft's in the house. Yes, please hit those like buttons and subscribe, you guys. But yeah, Johnny Evans stepping down from his role. Dan says Senesi took a knockout, did he? Man, I liked Senesi when he was at Feyenoord. I had scouted him a while back. He was a really good player at Feyenoord. He was getting involved in goals. Kind of like I felt like the way about him as I felt about Bashali. Who is Bashali injured? I forgot that Bashali went. Didn't he go to Brighton this year? Did he not play? I don't know. Speaking of Brighton. Next bit of news. I didn't even plan that. That just happened just like that. That's how good I am. FA Cup draw about an hour before kickoff yesterday. And, of course, United draw Premier League opposition in Brighton. I'm not going to cry conspiracy. We got Grimsby in the Carabao Cup and whatnot. And we've had, like, Tranmere and other teams like that in the past. So it swings and roundabouts. It's kind of annoying when teams like City are getting like Exeter and whatnot, or like Bradford or whatever. It is annoying. It is really frustrating that we get. I think Spurs versus Villa is probably the other tough ask, honestly. But yeah, so we get Brighton. We did just beat them not that long ago, right? So I think that we should be fine. I can say that with not 100% confidence, but we should be fine. We've beaten them. We've got better players on paper. We should be doing better. They're not doing great right now, Brighton, and so. But yes, third round we do get Brighton. We do get to hit the Seagulls up again. Danny says he's just not playing. Oh, is he? Well, that's unfortunate. I'll still take Bashali. United Lands Welcome says we still need to play as a team and stat pack solo stats. Yeah. Would like to have seen Cunha get on and just get himself a goal. We were trying, and he was trying. Sometimes he was trying a little too hard for my liking yesterday. But I thought a few of the attackers, Mbumo, Ahmad, Cunha, they were guilty of holding onto the ball a little too long many times when they should have released the pass a little sooner. Really frustrating. I know everybody wants a goal. I know everybody's just eager to break that duck. But it's a team effort first. You got to build off something. Get yourself a cushion, and then we can start just passing the ball around if we want to. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Brighton's third round. How are you guys feeling about that? Are you annoyed that we get Premier League? Do you feel good about that? Do you think that's just FA Cup done for us? Let me know what you think about that. Brighton at home. Where are you guys at right now with your man of the match? So far, yeah, get involved in the vote. So far, Mount's winning, which is a little bit surprising, but I guess I'm not super surprised because he was a Premier League man of the match. I'm just surprised more people aren't opting for Bruno with 2 goals and an assist and most chances created again. It's the 5th match now in a row that he's gotten a goal involvement. So, T, what's everybody getting up to today, though? Sorry about the, I've been trying to do initial match reactions and play ratings the days of these matches, right? You guys know I've been trying to do that more. It's just these midweek matches are just killer, especially Mondays. Mondays are packed in the afternoon. I've got like no time to go and do that. And so it is a bummer. But we're going to try to do more. Obviously, in the next couple of weeks, it's going to get a little dicey. I've got to upload some stuff for you guys to have when Dylan and I are gone, and then Dylan and I are going to be gone. We'll still check in with you, though, of course, while we're there. We'll still do some match reactions from the Airbnb like Justin and I did last year. So you're not going to miss out, but it is going to be a little dicey in the next couple of weeks. United Lens says we have to go deep in the FA Cup as a backup plan for Europe. I mean, that's always the plan, right? We always want to go deep into the FA Cup. We always want to go pretty deep into any competition that we're in. We got to a final last year in Europa League. That was pretty good. Obviously, Ten Hag got to 3 finals, which he's happy to tell you about. Bog says, Fernandez plays some majestic balls and Mount's passing. Yeah. In the second half, everybody kind of woke up a little bit. I thought it was we're just getting pushed and pulled all over the place in the first half. Rob says Bruno man of the match for his involvement. Yeah, members, you do get your man of the match emoji if you want to throw that out there. I do try to hook you guys up with some sweet-ish. But yeah, Brighton third round. I'm feeling good. I'm not feeling like 100% confident. You never can feel 100% confident. A lot of us felt great against Grimsby, and then that turned into a shit show. So, all right, let's talk about this match, you guys. Please make sure you're liking and subscribing. Talking about team selection first and foremost. Basically, an unchanged 11 almost from the last match, aside from Mount stepping in for Xerxes. Xerxes obviously started a couple matches. Mount's obviously started this one. Cunha set up in the false nine. Mount on paper started on the left, but as you could see throughout the match, it was pretty interchangeable and fluid in terms of attack, especially on the counter. Again, when we play these three in front, it does give me 08, 07 vibes of like Tevez, Ronaldo, and Rooney, just kind of everybody just flowing. When we get that ball deep, they're running into channels. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of link up. There's a lot of 1-2. Mount was springing passes around. People were carrying the ball. Bruno was finding people. I liked it. It was very, but that's what we've been crying out for, right? Get that ball and then just get it forward. I'm not saying just hoof it like Jose or like dump it in the corner like you're playing hockey or something. Like, just do what you're doing, but do it quicker. It's really not that difficult. I don't know what the issue is with De Ligt. Obviously, it's the second match now in a row where he's not even involved. Somebody want to let me know if they've seen anything other than we'll see from Amorim. But we're talking more about De Ligt later on. But yeah, another game without him. No Maguire still. So again, just Yoro on the bench in terms of center backs, and Martinez obviously bringing back into. So getting people back fit, but we're also these people that have been injured are just not getting back right now. And so we lose Mount, we lose De Ligt, we lose Maguire. It's struggle bus, man. Let's see. Box says Ahmad was a bit greedy, one-dimensional. Yeah, and then you guys know that's been my biggest complaint with Ahmad. He's such a good player, but he just holds on to the ball too long. It's one or two too many touches. It's a little bit of indecisiveness. Now, watching yesterday, sometimes it was a bit of there wasn't really any options for him. I don't think he's the quickest player, and so it's kind of like Anthony, where he's got the skill, but he doesn't have the pace and the power, and so it's almost like he doesn't back himself in those 1v1s. But then you've got to use your skill, your techers, to kind of throw the defender off a little shift of the shoulder here. All that defender's weight is now, and all you got to do is a little touch. I say that like it's simple, but I mean, even I can do an elastico. It's not super hard, and this guy is a Premier League footballer. Like, that's all it takes. Drop the shoulder, elastico here, and you're off to the races. Now they've either got to foul you or you're past them, and it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. But talk about the first half, kind of the gist here. I thought Wolves did a really good job of shutting down that midfield, shutting down the options. Obviously, they wanted to press high when we tried to build out from the back, like I said. But then when they weren't able to do that, they were trying to drop back into shape, like we said. We were able to play through that a little in the first half. There was space in the midfield if we played a little 1-2s on the wide areas and got it through. Always seemed to be somebody for United ready and willing in midfield. They were kind of leaving that wide open Wolves. But we were losing that physical battle as that first half went on. We were getting pushed, pulled. They were kind of passing and moving around us. It just seemed like every challenge we went into, we weren't winning. It helps that Mbuma and Cunha were dropping deep, and Mount was dropping deep as well to kind of exploit that space. That to me is either tactical from Amorim, or it just shows good reading of the game by them. Now the problem is we get that, and now we're trying to book it forward, and every now and then we just weren't getting bodies. But again, Wolves were ready to sit back in a back five pretty quickly whenever we tried to attack. Again, something I'd like to see us work on, just getting that ball forward a little bit quicker, because we're allowing teams to get back into their shape just a little too quickly. Box says Maguire, Shesko, De Ligt were doing group training together. I saw Shesko now on grass. Yeah, Shesko is back individually on grass. I never understood, like, did we get an actual diagnosis on what was going on with De Ligt? Because I didn't see anything. I didn't see him pull up with anything against Palace. So early doors, I was starting to get a little worried because as a lot of keepers seem to want to do, Sam Johnston was kind of having a bit of a whirly to start that first half. He's making save after save after save. It almost just felt like it was going to be one of those days for us. But hey, Wolves gonna Wolves. When they were forced to get out of their block after we scored and stuff, we kind of looked a lot better than them. Just overall, I think there was enough vertical passes from us. We were forcing the ball wide a little too frequently in the first half when maybe we had options in the channels, and we started maybe switching over to that a little later on. Maybe it had to do with no natural number 9. But once Cunha and Mbeumo started, maybe stopped trying to be 10s and started to run inward instead of outward, we were able to kind of play a lot of those passes. Again, it helps that Wolves were starting to open up a little bit for us, but I would like us to at least just get our head ups and see that pass a bit more frequently. Because the one time we did, like in that first half, we created a chance for Mbeumo. He got on the end of it and a heavy touch, got away from him. It should have just been 2-0, but it is what it is. But then, I was worried about the keeper. Now, when we started missing these clear opportunities, these 1v1s like Dallow's chance, then I started worrying, oh, great, it's going to be one of those nights where we just are failing to put away clear opportunities here. But hey, we finally got it. We got through Mbeumo, got his goal. Second half, square ball with Dallow. Started to link up a little bit, started to just calm down. I thought we stepped off it after our opener. We started to look a little shaky. We kind of let them back into it. And again, another opportunity for me to kind of tell myself it's going to be another one of those days. I just thought we were too much on the back foot after we scored that first goal, especially defensively. We were kind of all over the place. Wolves were able to kind of just put that ball in and around our box at will. That's what led to their equalizer. Ball goes wide. Nobody gets to it. Gets all the way back to the back post. No one gets to it. Laid it off for Bellegarde, who is very good on the ball, by the way, and then he just puts it in. It's annoying. It's their first goal for Wolves since October. And again, just the matter of no pressure on the ball, nobody on the back stick, crossing at will, just putting it around. They're just they're just going to let us cross. Cool. We'll just keep crossing it and somebody will get on the end of it. It's really annoying. The defending itself has not been great this season. Just the one clean sheet all season is not great. It's just little things, just simple football mistakes that we keep committing. And it's costing us clean sheets, which has cost us points. I was a little frustrated that we were not building from the back as much. And I think that especially when we were up a goal, I thought we were just gifting them opportunities to attack again by hoofing it long, especially at the end of the first half. We were up 1-0 and we just hoof it long and it goes right to a Wolves player, or we maybe win it, but we don't win the second ball. And then it's just another wave of attack. Just be smarter with the ball. We're too open in midfield as a club right now, as a team, for us to just keep gifting the opposition chances to just get back into our area. Just hold on to the ball, be smart with it until halftime. At least we could have, if we'd gone into halftime 1-0 up, I don't think Wolves would have equalized at all. But it is what it's going to be. All these guys saying here, Box says the Cunha injury was sort of kept hidden as well. Maybe new guidelines. Yeah, that could be it. Stopping the leaks. I know there are channels and there are fans who want to know what's going on with stuff like that. We're not gonna know unless somebody tells us. It's private health information. It's just we're not privy to that information. It's you can't, not even allowed to ask someone if they're vaccinated because it's private health information. It's just you can't do that. So, but I know some people get frustrated by it. I'm not one of those people who feels like I'm entitled to that information, whether it's tactical or financial or whatever. If we're going to know, we're going to know. I don't know many clubs who are just transparent with all that kind of stuff, but it is what it is. Moving on to some numbers here. We averaged a lot more possession, which is what Wolves are going to like, and because they also know that we tend to do better when we don't have a lot of the ball. 64% possession for us on average for the night, which is how they like it. We played more than twice as many passes, 425 passes to their 206 on the night. Again, they just were not great. For the most part, though, it was all United. Momentum-wise, you can see here, it's just a lot of red, a couple little spikes of orange in Wolves' favor. It is worrying that we have so many spikes and not under normal circumstances, we get those spikes of momentum, but we don't really capitalize on them. Wolves capitalize with that one chance. And again, it was pretty much all us momentum-wise until, Wolves really had to throw caution to the wind coming out for that second half. And then we just kind of capitalized because they opened up. And then when you do that, the space in midfield opened up, the space for counterattacks opened up, and it just played into our hands. And I'm glad that we capitalized on it. And you can see for our goal, when it comes to momentum, Casemiro makes that goal. winning that ball high at the pitch. But again, you saw the change momentum after we scored our goal. Awesome. Is it back now? Could be the weather, you guys. It's pretty rough outside. Let me know if I'm back for you guys. That's frustrating. All right, we're back. Cool. Sorry, I just want to check the. And sometimes this weather is just rough. Um, all right, if we're back, then that's good. All right, the picture looks good too. Sorry about that, guys. It must be the weather. But any case, where was I? 27 shots, our most under Ruben Amorim in a match. 10 on target, concern. 39 touches in their box. 20 shots from inside their box. But there were times when it just felt like nothing was going to go in. We were getting through chances. People were hitting the keeper. People were putting it wide. People were holding onto it too long, and Wolves defenders were able to get back and help out. Getting really frustrating. And it helps that, Sam Johnson was having a tremendous first half. So there's that as well. But again, another game too where we're just getting bullied. They made 26 tackles. Sorry. They beat us in duels as well. We just were kind of getting out physical, which we're going to expect when you're coming up against a side like this. Like we said, they tried to win that ball high up the pitch. They were quick to get back into shape when they couldn't cut off the passing lanes, which is also what helped them get 12 interceptions on the night. I think we had like 7 or something. So it's just all over the place. What we got here? Tagar, welcome, says bring Nani Bournemouth. I don't, whatever language that is, I don't know what that means, but I appreciate you jumping in, man. Thank you. What about individually? Let's go through some of these players one by one here, you guys. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, get involved in that poll as well, please, if you don't mind, because it is shifting all the time here. We got 20 votes. So far, Bruno's winning with 50%. Mount's got 40%. We'll see what happens here. Lamens. Lamens, I don't know what you guys think about Senna Lamens. He came into the side, made his debut, and had a barnstormer debut. Looked confident, looked assured. We looked confident. We looked assured. Hasn't looked great. I know Dylan's mentioned this a couple times. Not that he's playing poorly. It's just he looks a little hesitant, a little shaky. He doesn't look as composed as he did those first few weeks, right? And I mentioned maybe this has something to do with all the changes that we've seen defensively. We've got Yoro, who is in a couple games of poor run of form. We've got Heaven starting in the back, so you're in Delit's nowhere to be found. Maguire, so you've got a lot of like mix and matching going on, a lot of chop and changing going on in your back line. You've got players who are not in good form. You've got a young player who is struggling a bit at times, is who is probably going to make a mistake here and there. And so I think any keeper would probably just feel a little off at that point. But I also need him to come off his line a bit more. We've had a couple instances yesterday where the ball was kind of in and around the box. People were struggling to clear it, and I think there was opportunities for him to just come out and smother that, or just call it and come out and grab it. I just would like to see him do that a little bit more. He can use his hands, he can jump, he can get on the end of something, and I'd like to see him do that a little bit more. Mazraoui, still getting fully fit, but I thought he looked calm on the ball. He always seemed to be involved on the right-hand side, always made himself an option. Came up clutch a couple times as well, so I'm happy with that. We took him off, again, still getting match fit. He'll be leaving in a week or so, we'll see what happens when he's gone. Heaven, another start at the center of defense for Aiden Heaven. You could definitely tell he's a youngster. He's a little unsure. He's a little shaky under pressure at times. He got away with what could have been a red card had Arias not been offside, but he grew into the match, started looking a little more comfortable, especially when he's getting the ball. I watched, I think it was AJ Analysis, who's a great channel. I love his analysis, but he mentioned that like his perspective was that Heaven doesn't look super comfortable in wide. I disagreed personally. I think Heaven is more comfortable in wide area. I think he's definitely more comfortable on the ball. He won that challenge from Strand Larson, who got the yellow for it because he's just comfortable with all his feet. He looks comfortable defending in those channels as well. He looks comfortable carrying the ball in wide areas. I don't think he looks comfortable being the center defender in that, being the guy who has always got to make himself an option, if that makes sense. But we'll see what happens. He had a little bit of a miscommunication with what's going on with this thing today. I don't know what the issue is with the camera. It's issue. I have no idea what's going on here. I I know that a couple weeks ago YouTube was having issues as well. People were having issues with their streaming. It looks like it's back, but let's see. Let me just check and see. But yeah, YouTube has been having some issues, and it looks like it just got a spike as well for streaming quality. So could be weather, could be YouTube, because that's just the way it is. Rob says storms over here. Yeah, this is messed up, man. The weather sometimes does this. Phil, welcome back, says if it was effing wolves, for God's sakes. I mean, it was wolves. I'm not sure where you're going with that, but let me know. Elaborate a little bit if you don't mind. Appreciate that. So Heaven, yeah, grew into it. Obviously won all of his duels, made some clearances. But I thought Shaw was frustrating me a little early on. He was getting caught too high up the pitch, trying to make challenges, trying to mark players at times. I thought that it kept us vulnerable. We made us vulnerable to the counterattack. He was getting drawn in, which really left Heaven kind of on his own. And in that situation, I don't want Heaven to be the one to have to kind of deal with that. I'd rather have Heaven maybe step up and mark, and Shaw kind of know when to step back. But again, like most other players, he improved in the second half as well. Dallo got the nod on the left side today over Dorgu, created 4 chances, nearly got himself an assist, nearly got himself a goal as well. He should have scored that, honestly, quite frankly. Nearly had another assist, though, with an excellent Trivella pass to Cunha at the back post. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's frustrating because how is this literally his best cross that I've seen him play in United shirt come from the outside of his boot? You should have been doing this the whole time. You're telling me this whole time, Dallo, you didn't have to keep cutting in onto your right. You could have just hit it with the outside of your boot and put that perfectly to the back post. And it took you 8 years to do this. Like, that's frustrating. That's super frustrating, man. On the right hand side, Ahmad can be such a frustrating player. He's at times he's frustrating. At other times, he's an absolute world beater. Defensively, I mean, he was solid tackle, a couple interceptions, 5 of 8 duels, so he was getting stuck in. He was willing runner to chase things down. But on the ball, he can be selfish, like so selfish, so tunnel vision sometimes. Yes, he created 4 chances, but he could have created twice that amount if he would just pass the ball now and then instead of trying to take 37 touches more than he needs. I thought he did better later on to start looking for the cutback, playing the cutback. He just needs to do it more frequently, and not only in the box, but on the run. If you've got a teammate around you, play a little bit of 1-2s. If you're not comfortable taking on the space, lay it off and then book and then wait for the return ball. It's just annoying. I thought he did better, though, at least a little bit to take on his defenders now and then. So, but yeah, like Danny says, hold on to the ball too long. I thought most of them, the attackers, held on to the ball too long yesterday. Maybe they just felt like it was Wolves, so they're comfortable. Ahmad's been doing it for a while. You guys know I've been saying that for a while. Needs to learn how to pass and move a little bit more. The same way like we did with Ronaldo when we signed him when he was a kid. Just pass and move, man, or you're going to get mullered. And we need to start doing it in in training too. Oh, so you're a rival fan. That's what's going on. Okay, let us know who you support. It was effing Wolves, potentially the worst team in Premier League history. Get your the worst team ever in Premier League history. It's funny. Are you an Arsenal fan or are you a Liverpool fan? Or maybe you're a Wolves fan? Let me know. But welcome to the channel. Either way, you got me a view, so hold on. Your opinion is more than valid. I just always ask for people to explain their opinion is all. United Lens says there was no structure to the attack. The players were running into the same space and sometimes into each other. Sometimes, yeah, it was frustrating, but I thought there, especially later on in the second half when the game really opened up, I thought we did have a lot of really good interchange, a little good movement between Mount, Cunha, and when there are a lot of really good counterattacks going on. I think that when we play with a false nine, you're going to see that more frequently, just because there's not a focal point. So everyone is kind of moving around. Now, whether that's tactical, whether that's individual players just reading the situation and adjusting, it's your call. We're not obviously going to know that. Raps has been some contenders for worse. I don't know. Wolves are trying really hard right now, aren't they? Let's talk about Casemiro. Let's move up to midfield. Hopefully I'm still here. Yeah, I think I'm still here. Awesome. Y'all be sure to let me know if it goes out again, because it's been crazy snow today. Casemiro, composed, steady from Unk. 3 out of 5 duels, 9 defensive actions, 1 tackle, 1 interception. He obviously, again, he made that challenge high up the pitch that led to Bruno's goal. Obviously, Cunha should have done better with it, but Bruno ended up doing something that who else is going to do that, right? He's literally laying on his ass and scores a goal. But I think that Casemiro is doing a job this season, at least recently, that goes maybe under the radar. He's just holding down that fort, stepping in and making sure that if he's got to try to win a challenge or win that ball back, so Bruno can do what Bruno does best and create chances, get involved high up the pitch. And a lot of people have been critical of Bruno moving forward a little bit more. These are the same people who wanted us to play Bruno high up the pitch, so I don't get that. But it's what's allowing Bruno to take over and really do what he does best. And I think it's working just fine. Yeah. No, I don't want to build a future around Bruno and Casemiro. Neither of them should be one of the 2 pivots in this system. But it is where we are. It's one of those things like asking Amorim to change formation. It's almost no point in arguing about it anymore, because Bruno is just immaculate. And it was a captain's performance from him on the night. 2 goals, 1 assist, created the most chances again, 12 passes into the final third. That's 6 assists for Bruno this season. He's only behind Michael Olise and Lamine Yamal in top 5 leagues right now. And he's gotten assists in each of his last 5 matches in the Premier League too. 4 goals, 6 assists so far this season for Bruno. More goal involvements than any other Premier League or center midfielder in the Premier League. He's literally been the best midfielder in the Premier League since he joined United. He's got 102 goals, 92 assists, and just over 300 appearances for United. He's the only Premier League player with double-digit goals and assists in the last 7 years consistently. I just don't get it. Everyone wanted him higher up. He's been playing in that space. We kind of make a little bit of a diamond at times in midfield, but fans still want to complain then he's higher up. I just don't know why people just can't be thankful that we have a player like Bruno who can do what Bruno does. I don't get that personally. Buck says, I'm going to need to look up and pass. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while now. And he gets away with it because he can score goals. I don't remember when the last time he scored was, but he's got to do a little bit more than that. Buck says, Casemiro is a strange one. Last season, at times, he was marooned on the bench for months, and now he's playing 90 minutes, sometimes twice a week. I mean, hey, I don't think he should be playing 90 minutes consistently. I think that, but again, what does it say about Ugarte and whatnot, and Mainu, even if we're running Casemiro into the ground, that Amorim doesn't rate them highly? I mean, everyone's going to go back and forth on that, personally. I mean, Mainu got minutes. Did Mainu do enough with that time for you guys to feel good about it? I mean, Ugarte can't even get minutes. At least he's getting minutes over Ugarte. I mean, it's just is what it is. Box says, if we had a Kane or a Haaland, Bruno would have had double the assist. Yeah, I say that all the time. If you look back at the seasons, it's very consistent from Bruno. Now, there were 2 dips. There was a dip in 21-22 because we were absolute garbage in 21-22. There was a little bit of a dip in 22-23. You remember what happened in 22-23? Ronaldo decided to throw his toys out of the pram. We didn't have a striker until January, until we got Wout Weghorst. And then everybody sucked in there. I think Rashford ended up kind of carrying dead weight that season. But still, it's bad seasons, man. So, yeah, if we had better finishers at the club, we didn't have such selfish players at times. We didn't have just poor finishers. I mean, Weghorst, I was there to watch him score against Real Betis, so that was a souvenir of Weghorst. But he just no Premier League goals in half a season. It's not a good look. But yeah, if we had better attackers, Bruno, we'd probably have more trophies. Bruno would probably have be within the shout of Ballon d'Or or something. I'm not saying he would be, but he'd be in the conversation. So it is what it is. Fair play to him for sticking it out. He is our version of Youngman's son and Harry Kane, just serving his time and doing what he can despite all the shit around him. So Rob Taft says I was happy with Manu when he came on. Hopefully a few starts during AFCON. Amorim has hinted at changing things. Yeah, I remember a long time ago, people, I think, forgetting Amorim. I think Amorim is going about his whole system and his whole rebuild in phases, and I think the first phase was really working on the tracking back, the physicality, the fitness. Second phase was really working on the principles, on playing the game that he wants it to be played, seeing it the way he wants it to be seen. And then when you can do that, those same principles will apply to different formations, different whatever, because a formation is not a system. But I think that's what it is. But we'll see. He's pretty stubborn, pretty rigid with his system and his formations. But let's see. Bach says I wanted a Lacey debut, especially 4-1 up. Yeah, I think it would have been great, but obviously we didn't get that. But Lacey will get his chances. I'm not too worried about that. He's still young. Moving on, Mason Mount. Disappointing first half from Mason Mount. Again, another player who's getting pushed and pulled. Wasn't really quite coming off for him. But whatever Amorim said or did at halftime, pretty much kickstarted something for everybody. Mount took his goal very, very well. Really, really, really good movement to just beat that the offside trap. Bruno with an excellent ball in there. I like how he and Cunha and Mbeumo interchange with each other. Yes, at times they were kind of taking up the same spaces. That's just what happens when you don't play a false nine for a while, and then you start playing a false nine. And when the players aren't playing together quite frequently enough, you're going to get that. It's going to happen. But I like that they were all doing that, but also dropping deep to help get involved in the buildup as well. Again, just not only was that interchange from along the front line, but there was an interchange between like the sixes and the tens at times as well, which is going to have to happen now and then. Sanjay's in the house. Big up, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Where you guys at on this poll? Get involved with your man of the match. So far, Bruno is still winning with 46%. That's more like it. I'm joking. Y'all can vote whoever you want to. Mbeumo, another quiet first half. And again, another first half where you could definitely tell he was getting super frustrated. But again, he grew into it. Took a solid goal on his counterattack. Kept his run well. Stayed on side well. Laid it off from Dallo to just easily slot it home. And it's what he needed. Overall, did really well, created 3 chances, 10 defensive actions too. Like, it'll get in there. You can't force it, and he can't force it. Be patient. Contribute to the goals doesn't just always mean you're the guy that's scoring them. And then once you build on that, you can work on it. Cunha, you could really tell Cunha wants a goal. I thought he was a little selfish at times, but he had the most shots on the night. But he did get that assist. He did create a couple chances as well. He was getting into really good positions. Sometimes it was just poor touch, and fair play to Wolves' defense. They seem to be in the right place at the right time a lot in those situations to cut out a pass, or that Trivela from Dallo. Totti got his head on the end of that. But he did get stuck into 4 tackles, 1 interception from Cunha. And so he was getting all sorts of involved. Yes, please do like and subscribe. Yeah, I keep forgetting to mention. I've mentioned it a couple times, but you can see it pinned in the chat. If we do get the 3K subs before I go to Manchester in a couple of weeks, we'll do a giveaway, and the winner will get wherever they want from the mega store. I've said that. Clip me up. But it's up to you guys. Keep liking, keep subscribing, share, please. Go on Twitter, go on YouTube, whatever, share it. Hype old videos on your phone. That's the best way for the channel to get noticed and jump ahead of the queue in the algorithm. So I do appreciate everybody. Buck says Cunha's conversion record this season is woeful. Yeah, he's trying really, 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 really hard. But it'll come up. He does a lot of the work for us too, and I think that's going unnoticed as well. He's putting in a lot of physical battles. He's covering every blade of grass. He's not giving the opposition any time on the ball, which we do need that as well. We've been crying out for physical mentality monster players. We have one, and now that everyone wants to focus on him not scoring goals, I think people are forgetting. I'm not accusing you this, Box. I'm just saying in general. He is contributing, whether he realizes it or not, or whether we realize it or not. Yes, it would be great to get him some goals. That's why we bought him. But I think what he's doing is very, very helpful as well. Moving on, I got my 3 thoughts. I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing. Let's start. Buck says, I think he'll rise up during AFCON. Yeah, he does need to. Remember, he played striker a lot at Atletico Madrid. He can play there. He's a different profile, which I don't mind. I like to have different profiles, and especially in a striker role, I like to have someone who's maybe a little bit more aerial, a little bit more physical. I do like to have someone who's a little better with their ball at their feet. Kind of a little bit more mobile. So I like to have different options personally, but that's why I like Mohamed Amora at Wolfsburg. I think he would be an excellent option for one of those 10 roles, but what are you going to do? Let's start with my thoughts here. Start with thought number 1, stepped off the gas a little bit. Like most matches, United looked dominant to start. We were sending wave after wave of attacks, winning those battles. We were playing through Wolves' high press really well. Then we scored. Great, awesome, love it. Then everything changed. We stepped off the gas a little bit. We allowed Wolves back into the game. And then suddenly the momentum started to shift in their favor. They were winning the physical battles. They were passing and dribbling through us at will. The cross after cross made it to our back post unchallenged, both at the back stick and on the ball carrier. And it didn't take long for one of those chances to lead to an equalizer because we were ball watching. No one put any pressure on the ball. And before you knew it, we gift Wolves their first goal since October. It is the season to be giving. So, I mean, it is what it is. We were generous like that, I guess. But honestly, just frustrating because Wolves were there for the taking. And we were intentionally stepping off it when we're up a goal. And it just invites pressure time and time again. Surprisingly, Amorim made attacking changes when we were 3-1 up after making his defensive changes. But though, is being up a couple goals with like 10, 15 minutes left, is that what it takes for him to feel comfortable enough to make those changes? Does he not trust his bench enough? The bench has struggled several times. We saw it under Ten Hag too. I mean, look what happened against Coventry in the FA Cup semifinal a couple years back. That game was done and dusted in the 70-some-odd minute, 3-0 up. And look what happened. A lot of these players just aren't good enough. They don't have it in them to do it. Some of them are probably rusty, but some of them are just not good enough. I can see why Amorim maybe doesn't trust some of them, but I do think that he doesn't help the situation with some of his subs, quite frankly. So, Box says, I've seen Amorim finally getting a bit of spotlight of late from the media. Wins cover a multitude of sins. Plus, I mean, it's nice to see the media actually going in on Liverpool as well. It's been hilarious watching Jamie Carragher hypocrisize himself and backtrack all over the gap with his opinions and his comments on Mo Salah and Arne Slot. That shit's hilarious. I will say Rio's comments this morning. I don't know if you guys watched Rio's thing this morning. His comments on Salah kind of surprised me because he kind of took Salah's side in terms of like he deserves, to start. He deserves more, and I don't get it. To me, this screams of Salah missing the spotlight and wanting to get more attention. This screams of attention seeking from Salah. I don't know how we get on that point, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that kind of behavior. But yeah, I thought we stepped off the gas a bit, and we need to do better at just keeping the momentum up and keeping our foot on the gas and not getting stuck on the back foot, not taking a goal and then saying, all right, let's sit back. Now, there is statistically a correlation between scoring a goal and conceding a goal within a couple minutes. That happens. So yeah, it is wise immediately after scoring a goal to maybe just switch on, make sure everybody's focused, make sure you're paying attention, make sure you're reading the situation. But there's no need to do that for as long as we did. So moving on, number 2, where is De Ligt? It's going to sound like I'm singling out Aiden Heaven. I'm not. I know he's in the photo and whatnot. It is what it is. But we just really miss De Ligt when he's not playing. Still don't know what the issue is. Amorim said initially it wasn't serious, but then later on said sometimes you think it's one thing, but then it becomes a different thing day by day. And he ended that with, I'm not going to say when he's coming back. So I hope it's not serious. I hope this isn't the injury-prone De Ligt kind of rearing its ugly head again like I was worried about when we signed him. I don't like the sound of whatever Amorim said, though. But he's played every game this season up until West Ham, and he wasn't even in the matchday squad. Then he was absent again yesterday as well. And statistically, when you look over the sample size when De Ligt's been here, we're just worse when he doesn't play, at least from a defensive standpoint. I think he provides leadership. He provides some assurance that he is good building out from the back. We miss him when he's not here. Maguire being out at the same time doesn't help either. It sort of feels like a little bit when, like, remember when Shesko and Cunha were out and we were struggling? It kind of feels like that, but at the opposite end of the pitch. Mazraoui's still getting back to being fully fit, so he's not a like for like in there, and he's a fullback. So hopefully we get Licha fit. Hopefully we can get De Ligt and or Maguire back at some point as well. But we do miss De Ligt when he's not in the squad, so it is frustrating. Lucky thinks we're going to have to grind for our next match again. Yeah, Bournemouth will be a tough ask. I think obviously Bournemouth is going to be tougher than Wolves for sure, but again, Amorim's got to show that he can plan for that kind of stuff. Buck says, I saw Rio was hosting the World Cup draw. There were a ton of people at the World Cup draw, man. There were like Tom Brady's and stuff there. I was like, what is this? We don't do anything halfway in America, man. We just, except for education, we just go hard in the paint. My tea's getting cold. That's what happens when I talk too much. Lucky says, this club, we care building pace. Yeah, we do need some more pace, Lucky. You're right. So hopefully Licha will be back soon. I'm just not clear on what the actual issue is there. But if anyone knows, please let me know. Number 3, please stay fit, Mason. How many times have I said it on the channel? A fit and firing Mason Mount is a baller and is absolutely good for us. We're finally starting to see the Mount maybe that we bought nearly 3 years ago. He got another goal. He took his goal very, very well. Slotted into the left 10 role with Xerxes on the bench. And again, that front 3, they look very good yesterday. Yes, they were kind of taking up the same positions, but in the attack with their legs open, getting on the counterattack, it was a thing to behold. There was pace, there was fluidity, there was quickness on the ball. Amorim had this to say on Mount as well. He said, it's not just the goal he scored, it's the way he plays the game, how he attacks, how he defends, how he understands his technical qualities. You don't need to have many touches. He's a really good player and works hard. He knows sometimes he needs to start on the bench. So he's saying Mount and we know this. He's been praising Mount since he got here. He loves Mason Mount. Who thought, right, that Mount would be the player that is just shining under Amorim when he's fit? He starts against Wolves and he scores. Starts against Palace and he scores. Starts against Sunderland and he scores. I mean, maybe it's time to consider that a false 9 is the main option and Shesko can be the rotation option. But we'll see. He's obviously training back on grass now. But with Mbumo and Ahmad leaving for AFCON, Shesko probably going to need several more weeks to get fully fit. Mount's going to be crucial for us over this next month or so, but maybe even the rest of the season as well. He was very good for us in Europa League last season too. I'm not sure how he got Premier League man of the match, but it is what it is. He had a very good game. I'm not going to nitpick, but we need him fit. We need him firing. We need him just scoring and assisting and creating chances for us because we're going to miss a couple key players over the next month or so. But Amorim, I think, definitely doesn't trust his bench a whole lot. Again, he only made those attacking subs when we were up 3-1, but I'm not too bothered by it after a win, personally. And his halftime talk must have been perfect because we were a different team in the second half, which is good on the day, bad when you zoom out the lens a little bit. I mean, we've been talking second half FC a couple times now this season, and it's not a good look. It's been like that for a couple of years, though, not just an Amorim thing. We saw that under Ollie. We saw that under Ten Hag as well. I thought the ref let a lot of things go in the first half, especially a lot of late challenges, a lot of dirty challenges. I thought that he was just letting a lot of things go. We definitely should have had another pen in the first half for that half handball from, what's his face, Abdikar, whatever his name is. Should have had that for sure, but it is what it is. It's just so weird that they give it for the literally almost the same exact thing in the second half. They didn't give it in the first half. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, but you guys might know a little bit more than me about the handball law. I don't know what it is anymore. But hey, there they are. Like, we're unbeaten in 5. It's the longest unbeaten run in the league so right now. So awesome. Most shots in the league. 3rd for goals scored as well. I think we need to score more. We're having a lot of opportunities. Just 1 point off top 4. Really, we should be second, but I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It is what it is. But still, I mean, what do you make of that? What do you make that despite all the lows, we're in a European spot right now? I mean, did any of you think we'd be saying that after the shit show last season? Let me know. Box says Leacha from the brief cameos we've seen looks like a Rolls Royce. Leacha's been a Rolls Royce. He's very composed. He's very comfortable on the ball. But yeah, let's hope he doesn't get injured anymore. Rob says 100% the pen decisions didn't make sense. Practically the same. Yeah, I didn't get that. I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. We ended up winning, but we should have had another one. But who knows if we got that one? They might not have even have had it in them to come out and score a goal. But again, did any of you think we'd be in sixth by Christmas? Probably not. I think most of us would be happy with, like, we thought even looking at 8th or 9th place this season was going to be a bit of a stretch. Obviously, it's midway through the season almost, so a lot of football left to play, but I'm happy with it. Early days, we'll see. Amorim also has a lot to prove. This doesn't mean he's off the hook. It doesn't mean a fair few of the players are off the hook either. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot left to show the fans that Amorim he's got it in him, that he's learning, that he's able to be trusted a little bit more. Like you guys said, I would have liked to have seen Lacey maybe get some minutes, but it is what it is. His chances will come. Like, they'll come. It's not that big a deal. But I do think that a few of the players really needed this win, and a couple of those guys really needed goals as well. And Bruno, I think, really could have done with that goal, so I'm happy he got it. Cunha, he'll get there. Not worried about it. We need to carry this into Bournemouth because it's going to be much tougher ask. And it is probably going to be the last time we're going to see guys like Mbumo and Mizraoui for another month, maybe. So they need to go all out. They need to be on it. So we'll see what happens there. Champions League today. I know Olympiacos were playing when I went live. Muzakaitis, if you guys were keeping an eye on that young midfielder we've been linked with, he is playing for Olympiacos. Inter versus Liverpool later on this afternoon. Madrid versus Man City tomorrow. That'll be a fun one. Anybody watching any of these matches? Box says, did you see the Brighton West Ham game? I felt like Reuter's equalizer was a handball. I didn't watch that one. No, I did not, unfortunately. Yeah, there is no consistency. Yeah, and even the commentator. Now, I don't know who the commentator was. I was watching it on like NBC. One of them was an absolute dickhead, but yeah, they were like, that's all we want is consistency. We don't get it. So I agree. We want the consistent calls. Rob says it was good to see us getting a conclusive win. We were meant to. Yeah, we needed it. We couldn't be the first team to hand them a win. We were the first team to hand them a goal since October, but we can't be the ones that are getting them the wins. Like it says, more please rest Mason Mount, Martinez, Cunha. We need to be using all these players to our advantage, especially with AFCON coming up. So who knows? Maybe we just play Mbumo when he comes down with the international break flu and doesn't want to go. What's this poll up to, you guys? We got 30 votes. Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to end it, though. 47% of you say Bruno was your man of the match. Really appreciate that. So we're going to give that one to Bruno today. So Bruno wins. Hopefully you guys got your votes in there. 43% say Mount. So it was pretty close. It was very close. 7% of you said Dallo as well. So Dallo had a good game. We have to give him his flowers, and we had a good game. We've been very critical of Dallo. Obviously, I don't think he's quite good enough, but when he has a good performance, you gotta let him know. Buck says the handballs were cheeky, putting their hands behind their backs, but still putting their arms out to stop the ball. Yeah, you're moving. Not only you're moving towards it, but your arm moves towards it. Like, it's ridiculous, man. I don't get it. You can't do this whole nudge, get your attention action and not be new. But Danny's voting Mount. Yeah, Mount had a good game. A good second half, I would say there. I'm always going to lean more towards the player who's got the more goals, the more assists, the most chances created and stuff. So Bruno would have gotten it for me if I was able to vote. Obviously, it's my thing, so I can't vote. But you guys, please make sure you're liking for me. Please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you are new. Please make sure that you go back and hype some videos, share this as well. Check out the memberships. They are the best way to get involved in the content on the channel. You guys, it's more than just emojis and badges. There's ways to get involved in scouting reports, what-if ideas. Legends can even join in virtually for the kickabout. So keep an eye out for all that, guys. It does help the channel as well. Never any pressure. Just if you're interested in getting more involved, that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to leave it there because I've got my player care class starting in about an hour, and I've got to give these dogs lunch and whatnot. So I will see you guys on the next one. Keep a lookout. I'm going to check in with Dylan, see what we're doing for Kickabout tomorrow. I know he's got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of work to do, so it could be yay or nay, but I'll let you guys know. But enjoy the rest of your day, Danny. Hope your back feels better, guys. If it is snowing where you are, please be safe, stay warm. And as always, thank you again. I'll see you guys later. Peace.